I was like, what do you do? And she said, well, I'm the CEO and founder of True Model Management. And I was like, oh, wow, do you hire plus size models from Trinidad? And she said, I hire plus size models from all over the world. Why don't you come in and let me measure you?
Right place, right time. Look
Right
at that.
place, right time, cosmic, that. And she's now my agent.
Yay.
And
Hey, Dale.
bless Dale Noel. And she saw something in me, and I went into the office, and I was so nervous and I was so scared, and on right there down by Penn Station, and I was like shaking. And she measured me, and she said, okay, your measurements are good. Who knew? Because my whole life I was told my measurements were bad.
I know,
I
right?
actually have a perfect size 18 body.
Yes,
BTW. Okay.
same.
My body's like perfect size 18 for the plus size fashion industry. Anyway, side notes, which was like such a mind
which
bomb
is the
for
big
me.
money. That's how I started, size 18 fit model. Big monies.
So she says, are you prepared to move to New York City? Do you have your ducks in a row to apply for your work permit to come? And I said yes, and the rest is history.
Wow. Amazing. So if you're out there and you're like, oh, I can't do this, like, I don't know, if you feel like you're in the rock and a hard place, and you feel like, as a plus size woman, you're not seeing those opportunities maybe as some of your counterparts and things like that, this is a good example. I know it's like right place, right time, a miracle, but it exists. This is the representation that you've been waiting for, that you've been wanting to see. Sarah, I mean, coming from a small island like Trinidad, which I love Trinidad, I'm half Trini, coming from an island from Trinidad where she's faced so much fat phobia, so much trauma, so much of people bringing her down and telling her that she can't do this. Look at her now. She's in New York City working as a plus size model. Like, this exists, and it's here. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not just one person. Like, this is representation.
People literally asked me if the modeling agency was real.
What?
Yeah, people down there literally told me that I would never get my work visa, and what I was trying to do was impossible, and they don't do that for plus size models. And I had someone tell me when I was in my first magazine, BTFL magazine, that, and I was so excited, and I was someone close to me, and I went to show them, and they said that that's not a big magazine, and that's not a big deal. And being
Are
in
they
that
on any magazines?
Being in that magazine was a critical component of me being able to be here in New York, right? That was part of what I needed to come. So what I want to say is, listen to your heart. If you have something in your heart that you feel like you want to do, just put your head down and listen to it and follow that voice inside of you. Do not listen to what other people have to say. Because if I listen to other people, I would not be sitting here in this room.
Literally. Like, when I tell you, I'm so inspired by what you said. When I tell you, when God gives you a vision that people don't understand around you, it is not for them to understand.
No.
So those people that are telling you you can't do it, it's impossible, it's a shot in the dark, it is not for you, that means it's not for them. But it is for you. If that's your vision, if that's what you have in your heart, you listen to your gut feeling, your intuition, you go for it. Because I have a similar story. People told me my whole life, oh, you're so pretty, Gabby, if you just lose 70 pounds, you could be a model.
Such a pretty face.
Such a pretty face. Oh, you're gorgeous, like, you're tall, you can do this. I didn't listen to any of them. Okay, people told me it's not real. People told me it's a shot in the dark. People did not believe that I was a working model. They didn't believe that how much money I was making. They didn't believe that I was really okay. And back to when someone said about the magazine. Okay, the person saying, oh, that's not a big magazine. But are you in any magazine? Are you anywhere that we can see? No, it just sounds like a triggering, jealous response. Like, oh, I know I can never be on a magazine, so I'm just going to belittle that great opportunity that she had. You know how many people had told me, oh, I had 2 Times Square billboards last year. height of my career. I'm so happy and proud of myself, and thank God, like, I have the great opportunity to have 2 Times Square billboards as a plus size woman, as a darker skinned woman. That is a big deal. And think about how many other darker plus size girls looking at that saying, hey, I could do this, I can be there, I can, you know. And there are so many people saying, oh, that's not even like a real billboard, that's not like a real, like, what is a real billboard, that's not even a real thing.
What is a real billboard? Can we like pause and think about that for a second? But it is unbelievable how the more you climb towards your destiny, how many people just start to want to drag you down, and how many people just start to drop out of your life because they cannot handle watching you climb. And I say, you know what? You have to be light to climb high.
Yeah.
You have to let go of that dead weight.
You have to let go, and that's why I don't let...
It's hurtful, and it's hard, and it hurts.
It is.
Ooh, it hurts.
It hurts so bad. But that's why I just believe in forgiveness, letting go, focusing on myself. The best revenge is success in your own life. You know, because I still to this day, I cannot understand how people can spend their beautiful, precious, God-given days and time to harass other people, to be jealous of other people, to bring down other people. There have been situations in my own modeling career where I would visit my mother in Trinidad, visiting my mother. And when I'm away and people and other models know that I'm away, they would go to my agency and talk bad about me and try to get my agent mad at me, try to drag me down. And when I would come back, my agent's like jumping to conclusions like, what's going on? I hear you're doing this. I hear you're doing that. I'm like, you mean visiting my mother? Like, they were, you know, they were lying and they were making up things because they were jealous and they didn't like the success that I was having. They didn't like that I was a working model. They didn't like those things, so they were trying to bring me down. I cleared up what I can clear up, but you can't do anything about other people's actions. All you can do is how you react to it. How I react to it, I continue being professional. I continued showing up to castings. I continued showing up to my job. I didn't let the hate get to me. I didn't try to get revenge and all of that because I didn't care. Those people weren't important to me. What was important to me is that I was doing my work. I was minding my business. I was focusing on myself. And now, a couple years later, 2 billboards in Times Squares, walking in New York Fashion Week, living in LA and New York, I'm blessed because I mind my business. I do my thing, and I'm not focused on being jealous or bringing down anybody else. Like you said, you need to be light to make it to the top. You can't drag dead weight.
What God has for you, nobody could take that away.
Amen. Nobody could take that away from you.
That's the truth. What is for you, people will try and... I'm getting chills. I always say, like, I call those like goosebumps? God bumps, universe bumps. Like, it's like when you know, I feel it. Like when I'm gonna say a truth. People will try and drag you down. People will say things about you behind your back. They do things behind you. And it is incredible to watch how God will take that and turn that ugliness into something even better and bigger for you.
Yes.
That's like that is one of the most incredible things to witness.
Right. God makes all things work together for our good.
With the greater force, the universe, that thing that creates order.
Yeah. So moving on to the next, Sarah, now that you've been working in modeling in New York City, do you have any special projects coming up? What's new for you? What can we expect out of you in the near future?
Well, I've been blessed with a very exciting thing that's coming up for me. A few years ago, I created a vision board, and on it, I put all of the things that at that point in time when I was just sitting in my house in Trinidad with nothing just seemed like impossible things, like the hugest, biggest dreams. And one of them was to walk in Fashion Week in Paris. And
Paris Fashion Week.
And I've been invited by a designer, plus size designer, Renee Cafaro Atelier. I've been invited by her to walk in Paris Fashion Week in the spring.
That is huge. That is huge. Like, first of all, Paris is so romantic. I love Paris. I always say to all my little boyfriends, if you're going to propose to me, you have to propose to me on the Eiffel Tower, because Paris is so beautiful and romantic, and I just love it there.
Take notes, boys.
Literally, take notes, because I love it. But I want to talk about why it's such a big deal. You know, what we've heard is the French hate fat people, like everybody else, but especially like Paris, they want you thin, they want you really, really like thin. And so the fact that there's now plus size models on the runway in Paris Fashion Week is a huge deal, because we haven't seen that before. You don't see
I'm curious
plus size.
if it's ever even been done before.
You know?
I don't know.
I know I've seen one plus size model.
Is she really plus though?
She's a 14-16.
See, that's not
like
that's not like visibly fat.
That's not visibly fat. Yeah,
Let's be real. Like, because that's also something very weak that brands like to do. That's also something very like a pathetic little, oh, we'll just like throw the fat girls a bone and put a girl that is like big and tall that's not fat on the runway.
Right, exactly.
And that was something that I saw a lot at New York Fashion Week. It's always, okay, yes, she's technically a size 14 or 16, but her face is very thin, her stomach is very flat. Right. She doesn't look plus. Right. It's the kind of fat that people are comfortable with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
Not the kind of fat that people are uncomfortable with.
Right.
But you know what? Every single body wears clothing. I mean, unless you don't want to, which I have been guilty of at time to time.
Same.
Clothes at home. But so every single body type needs to be represented, and this is a huge and really exciting opportunity.
I'm so excited to see you on the runway. I'm so proud of you, friend. I can't wait to root you on. I want to see more fat bodies on all the fashion weeks, London, Paris, New York. Like, I want to see fat bodies everywhere. You know, we're not going anywhere. You know, stay uncomfortable, whatever, do what you got to do. But we're here and we have a lot to say. So I'm so excited about that. But Sarah, thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I'm so glad that you were able to come. And I just love Sarah so much. I think she's such a bright light. She always encourages me, encourages others. Is there any last thoughts that you want to leave the audience with, Sarah?
I think you guys should follow me at the CURVY TRINI. I am working on some very exciting kind of top secret projects that I think you might enjoy. So you might want to just follow me and stick around, and maybe I might do some announcing on a future podcast with you, Gabby.
Yes. Well, thank you all for watching this episode of the Gabby Fe podcast. You can watch this on Spotify, Apple iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please subscribe to this channel. Click the thumbs up if you liked what we had to say today. Leave a comment. Let us know what you want to hear on future episodes. And I'll see you later. Bye.
As if it's meant to be, then it'll be a love song.